start first with who am I? Next. Who is this weirdo? So for the people who are listening but cannot see me, I am a white person. I use preferably neutral pronouns. I wear glasses. I have weird hair, and I look as crazy as I sound. If you want to learn anything about me, there is my egocentric space on tab called Tommi.space. So let's start with this question. What makes contemporary social media? The mainstream one, the ones that everybody know. So we hear on mainstream communication platforms about Facebook, Google, Instagram, all this stuff. But what is the core of social media? It's understanding of how can a computer connect to a server somewhere in California or in the US, or we actually don't know where is the server. But what is a server? Well, I have the answer right here. There is no cloud, just someone else's computer. So there are a lot of questions about how does this actually work? Does anybody understand how social media actually work? I mean, the code inside of it. I don't really think so. It's a matter of control. So who controls those things that we barely understand? Is it a friend? Is it a neighbor? Is it somebody we voted for? Or is it a company that give us not really an option? And lastly, ownership. Those things that we cannot really control and cannot really understand are not even owned by us. So when we post something, wherever we post it, no discrimination, everything is bad, we don't even own it anymore because it could be brought down at any point. We don't control, we don't understand, we don't own it. So here we will hear a lot about technology, technical stuff, but in the end, power dynamics are what defines contemporary mainstream social media. So there is an important thing to keep in mind, which is an essential mantra. Screw technology. This is not about technology. This is not about being able to code. This is not about being able to actually put your hands on a keyboard and do things. It's all about understanding the underlying infrastructure. So we do not need to be technical to have a critical opinion about technology, because ultimately, all technical choices are political choices. Technology, it's what makes people do what they want to do, nothing more. So, getting to the point. Platforms, the ones we connect to, the ones we hear about every day, are like private land. So somebody owns it, there is an owner, either the owner might be public, or if it's private land. So there is a clear chunk of servers or of things that are owned by somebody. So when you step in somebody's place. And when it gets crowded, the people who control it or own it can basically determine what happens with the land. The internet, instead, is like language. Who owns English? Who owns Italian? Maybe populist parties and fascists have an idea about that, but actually, nobody owns language, and everybody owns language, because if you're able to speak that language, you are part of the wonderful universe, pluriverse of people, no matter the color, the ethnicity, no matter anything. If you speak that language, you are part of the community of people who speak that language. And the internet is that. Don't listen to anybody else who says otherwise, not because I hold the truth in my hands, I wish, otherwise I would not have many open questions that I have in my mind right now, and no answers, but it's because it was meant to be like that. So, what is the Fediverse within this context? Well, the Fediverse is a language, is a specific language that servers speak instead of humans, allowing humans to interact on the internet. The Fediverse is actually free, so not only in terms that you don't necessarily have to pay for it, even though servers and maintaining the Fediverse has a cost, but it's free in terms of freedom. So literally nobody can stop you from joining the Fediverse, as literally nobody can stop you from speaking a language. It's independent, because nobody can own the Fediverse. This little symbol here that you see is the asterisk. It's a Unicode character designed to represent the stars. It's an astronomical symbol. And some people propose, OK, let's make this the symbol of the Fediverse. But there are many others. And the community sometimes even fights about what is the symbol of the Fediverse, because nobody owns it. And it's so cool. It's one of the most beautiful discussions, because it's independent. And it's intrinsically communal. As it is a language, you cannot talk to yourself. You cannot just talk to the landlord. You talk among each other, and you necessarily have to talk in order to understand how to figure out this weird thing that not even the people who will be speaking in this room fully understand. Trust me. So in practice, what is this Fediverse? It works like email, and this is the most common analogy everybody who is on the Fediverse will tell you. So when you use email, you have to choose a provider. So can I name names? Yes, of course. You can use Gmail, you can use Libero in Italy, Yahoo, or your university email provider. And they all have different names. But why is it that you can still send an email to somebody who has a different email address? That is because email is language. It's a protocol, and it's open. Any server, any email provider that adopts the language of email can send emails. Who owns email? Everybody. So to join the Fediverse, you just have to choose your own provider, or instance, or server, or community, or node, or whatever. Of course, the Fediverse is a language, and it's standardized, but nobody of the people on the Fediverse can agree on one language. This is very fun. But this is also super cool, because on the Fediverse, you can speak Esperanto, you can speak English, and actually, we will have a talk about multiple languages on the Fediverse. So if it all sounds so much, and if I'm speaking about the Fediverse, about this super cool thing, you don't have to worry. The Fediverse is not that whimsical, techno-solutionistic tale that claims to solve all of the problems of humanity and sociality. On the Fediverse, we have fascists. We have people who harass other people, because they exist in the world as they exist on the Fediverse. The cool thing about the Fediverse is that it gives us the tools, and it empowers us to deal with this, to politically and socially deal with this. The solution is not coding them away. It's not like making as if the problem doesn't exist. It actually makes us address this collectively as a community. Speaking of fascists on the Fediverse, some crazy but true things to leave you, and to then as a segue to what we're about to hear from the others. Truth Social, Donald Trump's own social media, uses Mastodon. Mastodon is the most popular software of the Fediverse. We have here the CFO. Hi, Felix, rock and roll. A blog post from Mastodon, Truth Social was forced to open source their code. So if you go on Truth Social, there is a little link at the bottom about open source. And this is thanks to Mastodon, because it uses an open license for its code. Some public institutions own their own Fediverse instances, like the European Commission. You can follow them. They will never reply, because they give too little attention to it, but they should give it more. So if more of us start following them and making them accountable, maybe someday they will actually use the Fediverse as a more interactive social media. You can host a Fediverse server in your living room using an old laptop. You don't need requirement in terms of technical power that what your phone has, literally. A 20-year-old laptop should work perfectly fine to run a server for you and your whole family or group of friends. It depends how many friends you have. You can use a car's onboard computer to power a Fediverse server. Somebody actually did it with GoToSocial. It's a very, very lightweight Fediverse server. So I'm naming many names because everybody can build their own software on the Fediverse. You can synchronize your personal calendar, the one you check for your appointments or your meetings, with federated calendars from the Fediverse. So events can be gathered from different servers all over the world or only in your city, and you can sync them in your calendar using a software called Gancho, made by people, a community started by people here in Italy. You can buy indie music from people who are on the Fediverse by paying an artist directly on the Fediverse. So with no labels, no middle people, etc. This all can be done through the Fediverse. You can do academic peer reviews via the Fediverse, thanks to Bonfire, and this will be the talk that follows this one, so I will not add anything else. And you can also coordinate mutual aid in Palestine. Several tens of thousands of euros were gathered for mutual aid people in Palestine, verified through the Fediverse and discovered to the Fediverse. There is an initiative by Aral Balkan called Gaza Verified. So, it sounds like a lot, but it will make more sense as you dive into it, as you talk with the people, or it will not make sense. And that's okay too. Because the Fediverse is all about deconstructing the performative idea that we have of social media, of scrolling, of being on there, of having constant information and feedback. And please don't read what I'm saying wrongly. I am addicted to the Fediverse. But the problem is not the Fediverse. It's about how socially I am addicted to the fact of having many inputs from many people, which is something I love. The Fediverse, at least it's not a company feeding me stuff that it's better for their business. So, the important thing is that you should try it. Just put your hands on it, subscribe to a server, but here, the people who are actually here have the opportunity of trying it, of having the demo corner, which is in the Crane Hall. Please join that. And I welcome you all very, very happily to test and play around. And thank you all for being here. Thank you,
Thank you, Tommi. Big applause for this introduction.